your name is synonymous with Comhaltas Units in Kilkenny. How long have you been involved?
I've been involved since the branch of Marble City formed. We were talking about it for maybe 2 years before that. I was part of a dance group, and the branch evolved from that, and we started. But before that, the very first branch in Kilkenny was formed by Kilkenny City branch in 1961, which 1961, which is only 10 years after Comhaltas was founded in Mullingar in 51.
Of course. So that's a tremendous record. Now, that led on to Kilkenny bidding for, successfully, a number of national Fleadh Cheoils. Were you involved in those as well?
I was involved in the 88 one, and
which of course was the best one.
Well, in the early years, the national president of Comhaltas was Jim McCauley, a Kilkenny man, and Kilkenny were successful in hosting the 1983 and 1984 and the 1988 Fleadhs.
Indeed.
At the time, they were considered some of the great Fleadhs, and in the very first one, my memory, in 84, 83, there was over 100,000 people attended that Fleadh, which is a staggering amount of people.
Yes, it is.
Think that
yes,
back.
It is. But I mean, the Fleadh Cheoil was then, and perhaps still is, the largest ever festival devoted to Irish music and traditional Irish music, or indeed any music.
It is, and it has been, growing every single year. Every city or town strives to have a great Fleadh, and that's the way it has developed over the years until, the last one before the pandemic, which was, attended by huge numbers of people.
Indeed.
You're almost talking 500,000 people over the week.
Do you subscribe to the view that's often expressed by elderly people that, in fact, the success and the future of traditional music is in very firm hands because of the extent of youth involvement?
Oh, definitely. We're absolutely, honoured, and we're blessed in Ireland to have the music as strong as it is now. And it's a credit to all those people who have been involved in Comhaltas over the years since its foundation.
I know we had the high-profile Fleadh Cheoils. Were there other major events, provincial events here?
There was indeed. Over the years, we've hosted Leinster Fleadh Cheoils and Cheoil and Gearig in Kilkenny, and the concert tours have been hosted in Kilkenny. And, over the same number of years, there has been in total 9 branches in Kilkenny. As I said already, Kilkenny City was the first one, and that was followed by Castlecomer, and then went on to Freshford, and then there was branches formed in Lisdowney. These are all very small rural areas. Sure. Johnstown, Graignamanagh, Kilmacow, and Mullinavat. And, that's how the spread of Comhaltas works.
It's a wonderful record and a wonderful tradition, and it's very widespread. I mean, what is clear to me is that this was not just a Kilkenny City manifestation. It was really rooted in the entire population of Kilkenny, as it should be.
Certainly, and by standards, Kilkenny is a small county, and we've had
in size only.
In size only, but we've achieved huge things in Kilkenny, be it hurling and Fleadh Cheoils and Fleadh winners over the years, and I've been delighted and honoured to have been part of that over the years, and long may it continue.
Craig Ossory has been hosting the annual piping weekend since 1990. The tradition of piping in Kilkenny is long and deep, and solid. Perhaps best emphasized today by our next guest here at the newly opened Butler Gallery. He is Billy Carrigan, a 6th generation piper, and he has given to his family the same passion that he has for his craft and his music. Behind me are the gates of Kieran's College, erected here in 1831. They came from Jenkinstown Park, which is where we're leaving for right now.
Last night the rising moon upon a foreign strand. Chill memories came like flowers in June of home and fatherland. I dreamt I was a child once more beside the rippling rill, where first I saw in days of yore the moon behind the hill. It brought me back a vision grand of purpled boyhood dreams. Its youthful love, its happy lands as bright as morning beam. It brought me back my own sweet Nor, the castle and the mill, until my eyes could see no more the moon behind the hill. And there beneath that silvery sky I live life o'er again. I've counted all its hope gone by, I've wept at all its pain. And when I'm gone, oh may some tongue the minstrel's wish fulfill, and still remember him who sang the moon behind the hill, and still remember him who sang the moon behind the hill.
So from the nursery of hurling here in Kieran's College, we go now to the centre of hurling in Kilkenny, Nolan Park.
Okay, fáilte go parking Newlawn, a bailile Cumann Lucas Gael Kilkenny, at an Acalum Tá Coolbar Kilkenny, Owen Murphy. I'm delighted to welcome Owen Murphy here to our promotion here for FleadhFest, which is taking place in August this year. Owen, you're here, we're close to the goalposts in Nolan Park where you do all your best work, but we're here to promote another aspect of Irish culture, Irish music and dance. And you were telling me before we started this that you did have some experience of playing the tin whistle in primary school.
Yeah, I did. Not very well or anything like that, but we would have done it on most Fridays, all right, where we would have played musical instruments. And yeah, the tin whistle is what I remember the most. And look, as I said, I don't think it was too good at it, like, you know, but there was a bit of noise coming off it anyway, whether it was in tune or not. Look, I leave that up to the teacher. She might come back to me and tell me otherwise. And
you tell me that you're a good man to sing a song in company on certain occasions.
Yeah, on certain occasions. I suppose it depends what time of the day it is then as well, and depends on the scenario. But yeah, I might do a bit of crow in there as well, yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously when you're here in the parallelogram here in Nolan Park or in Croke Park or Thurles, you're having to call out to the guys outside you. So you need to be in tune with your defence fairly well. So the notion of being in tune on the hurling field is important as being in tune in the musical context.
Yeah, it is, and you know, it's like being part of a band. Everybody has to be in sync, because if one person is off tune, or you know, who's maybe not focused on the day, unfortunately things won't sound right, or we won't play as well as we should be. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of similarities, yeah.
And of course, teamwork is an essential part of winning big games here in Nolan Park or elsewhere. And when it comes to the whole, when we watch music, of course, on the television or in live performance, you can get the teamwork and the synergy among all the performers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You can feel the energy, and look, when a team is going well, then as well, you can sort of get that vibe off it, that they're, you know, quite close knit, and you know, when they are performing well, it just seems, you know, you can get that vibe from it, you know, and it's no difference, as we were just saying a second ago, you know, to somebody playing in a band. You know, everybody has to be in tune, and you know, I think that's you know, the same could be said for sport as well.
Well, an acadom lish tá Denise Gall imror comogíochta on blin chakacha vu Kilkenny on crave comonic to the Herden on blin chakacha. Denise, you grew up here in Kilkenny, actually quite close to where we're sitting here in Nolan Park. Talk to me about your early days in the St. John of God, and were you taught music or dancing in that stage? Did that come across? Because now that we can see you on the hurling field, you're fairly handy on the feet.
Hi Nicky, yeah, I grew up I suppose stone's throw away just in Glendyne there, and I started off playing with O'Loughlin's across the way there, so look, I don't know if the dancing is that for me now, but look, I suppose school was it was a lot of the culture, I suppose, just sports and Irish and music and everything there. Now I didn't get too involved in the music and the dancing, but I suppose the sport was really where it was at for me.
Yeah, when you're travelling now, and we'll talk about your job maybe later on and how it's impacted during this whole COVID, when you're travelling now, your choice of music, does Irish music come into your playlist whenever you put on some tunes on the car or on Spotify?
Actually, look, the odd time if it's on shuffle it might come up something. I don't know if it's Irish now, but the mother at home we'd be listening to Philomena Begley a lot there. So we would, or if I suppose if it was late at night there and sitting out the back garden, we'd have Philomena on. So, but look, in the car, I suppose it might come on the odd time. But
did you look back at Riverdance, and have you seen Riverdance? And when you see the movement of the dancers on that, and Nicholas Dunphy, who is very much part of the whole Comhaltas here in Kilkenny, is fairly handy on the feet as well. So in terms of the dancing there, I'm sure you must look on with awe at the pace, the speed, the style, the turns, everything about the way they perform.
Oh geez, absolutely, yeah. I suppose it's a sport in many ways, isn't it, the dancing? I suppose I would have been good friends with a few in school who would have done a lot of Irish dancing, and even just watching them in the concerts and that in school, like, it was amazing. I suppose even the training they put into it, I mean, it's probably, if not more than what we would do for the hurling field. So yeah, no, it's amazing, and look, it's brilliant. I must give it a watch now.
But it's good for young children who are growing up to get some experience of Irish culture through dancing and through singing and that, because it is part of what we are, as is Gaelic games, including camogie.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I suppose, look, it's on the telly every day. I mean, if you turn on Tina G, there's always, you know, the music or the dancing on, and I think young people might just throw on RT and play the sport, but there's a lot more on the telly than what people know about as well. So, look, it's brilliant for them to get, I suppose, to get an understanding of the whole aspect of the culture. Yeah.
So we leave Newland Park, the centre of hurling, to what many people would believe is the foundation of the famed Black and Amber, which is Tullerone. It's also the home today of Paddy Clear, who is a great instrument maker. The story is told that the first man to buy, or what we would call now sponsor, the gear for the Kilkenny hurlers was in a quandary as to what colour he should use. And he met a young lady who said to him, "It's easy, just use them, dress them the same way as I am dressed, i.e. black and amber." She was wearing a black skirt and an amber blouse, and that's how the famed Black and Amber came to be. Paddy Clear with Brian Mooney. Both of them are teachers with our branch, and both of them were playing instruments crafted by Paddy Clear. His instruments are much sought after and are being played by musicians both in Ireland and overseas. Truly a craftsman. And staying with the theme of craft, our next stop is in the historic village of Bennisbridge, where we visit Nicholas Moss Pottery.
Welcome along, everybody. Fáilte roimh go léir. Chuig an Auckland Fine Air Show, this open air amphitheatre. You're very welcome along to Ballykeefe, the place of my birth. Jim Maher is my name. Storytelling, traditional music and singing and all that kind of stuff. I grew up with it. I was immersed in that around here in my young days because I was the eldest of a family, born down that little quiet road here, as I said, and bookended with the blacksmith forge at the other end and the Ballykeefe wood and quarry here at this side. It was a working quarry in my young days. Teams of people worked here, carrying out stone crushing, and the forge at the other end was a lively place of meeting, an open air place on good weather, and even wet days people would assemble to get the awkward jobs done with the blacksmith on their Paddy Finlay. So therefore, as a youngster, there I was, the eldest of a family, later became a family of 7, but I was the eldest, had it all to myself for a while down here, and I was immersed in the oral tradition and carry on in the area. Stuff I overheard from my folks, and then my grandmother's house, which is up the way beyond Great Cross, Kilkenny village over here to our left, and we're back into there by the Fleadh Hills, bordering Kilkenny to Prairie, and great camaraderie there with the whole musical and cultural stuff, and a bit of rivalry with the hurling, all right, but that never got in the way of the fun and dancing. The earliest music I ever heard, the earliest music I actually recall hearing was from the old Greg dance board, just over from the Greg Cross, the forge, and up there I used to hear the sounds of the music coming across, polka sets, lancers, waltzes, and that was carried by the river and the breeze over towards our house. So that was one of my earliest hearing of music. The other big one was the Ranby tradition in the locality. A big one again on Stephen's Day. Law Les Stefan, the Ranby tradition was strong here. May not be well known for it at the time, or even still, but very, very strong. And the magic to me of the Bowron coming along the distance, and accordions and flutes, and they're marching and playing polkas, it was just incredible as a youngster. My grandmother's house then was a rambling kind of a house, and my maternal grandmother's house, and up there I would have recalled people coming for house sessions, music sessions, storytelling all the way through, and the odd house dance. Maybe occasions when people will be home on holiday, visiting, or going away. Some sad occasions, some not so sad, as people would be arriving home and merrymaking and that kind of stuff. So immersed in all of that, and I'm delighted to welcome you all along here to this little patch of County Kilkenny for FleadhFest 2021.
Fare thee well to you, my own true love. I'm going far, far away. I am bound for California, but I know that I'll return someday. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, my darling, when I think of thee. Sign my
And now finally we're off to Butler House Gardens. So from us all in Crave, Ossory, from Féin, from myself, it's Mr. Pádraig O'Nolan, a very fine farewell from the medieval capital, where I hope you've enjoyed music, song and dance, for which we are delighted to present for your entertainment.